offense has gotten a lot of attention, right?
A lot of it. Number one offense in the country, big-time scoring, big-time plays, a couple players being recognized at the end of the year with awards. So, yeah, offense is king here.
So if the media is paying attention to Tennessee's offense, NFL teams are talking about the offense with quarterback Hendon Hooker maybe going in the first round. We'll get to that. Darnell Wright projecting the first round. First couple of rounds at least. Jalen Hyatt and then maybe Cedric Tillman are expected to be there. Offense is top of mind. Was it here during these comments made by Georgia head coach Kirby Smart when he was asked after practice about the quarterback position and what Georgia's looking for from its quarterback? Here's Kirby Smart.
Demeanor and communication. So, like, I can get the stats, but it's like a true quarterback is a decision maker. In our system, because some systems take all the pressure off the quarterback and they just go really fast, we don't do that. We're a quarterback-driven offense. So can you process the information? That means get the signal, get people lined up, then see what the defense is in, and figure out, are we in the right situation? Which of these three choices Coach Bobo's given me am I going to utilize on this play? And then the play happens, and there might be a mistake or a breakdown, and you not go full metal jacket and have catastrophe mode and put us in a bad situation. So, decision making is the number one thing I want to see at the quarterback position. Can you make consecutive decisions over and over that don't cost our team games? Because we have enough playmakers and we have enough plays that you will make a play inevitably. Don't make a bonehead play. And that's what we're trying to avoid.
Kirby Smart, he wants quarterbacks that can make good decisions repeatedly, avoid mistakes. But did you catch that in the middle? He said some offenses take that off their quarterback. They just go really fast. Is Tennessee in mind when he's making that comment?
Tennessee's on team. He plays year in and year out. That goes fast. Tennessee is the closest team in the East to Georgia. Probably the only threat to Georgia. It was the only threat to Georgia this year, except for them playing poorly against Mizzou and almost losing that game. But everyone saw Tennessee go out and pull Nico Iamaleava. Only Alabama and Georgia are supposed to be able to recruit the best of the best at the quarterback position when you look at who has recruited that position the best over the last 5 or so years. Here comes Tennessee. Boom. You get Nico. Nico's supposed to have Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State and Clemson in the final. A couple of teams, and then pick one of those. They're not supposed to pick. You ain't supposed to pick Tennessee. So I think he's feeling a little bit of the heat. Not saying that he's worried because, hey, man, he just won 2 championships back to back. He is beaten Tennessee down in the last 2 games. But he understands the process of building a program. Josh Heupel just finished his 2nd season. Kirby didn't win a championship in his 1st season. Kirby didn't find himself where he is now in his 2nd season. He understands it takes time. And if Tennessee continues to recruit the way that they're recruiting and getting players that can be impactful like a Hendon Hooker, Tennessee is going to catch Georgia. Not in terms of like championships in the next 2 years or so. I'm talking about catching them on a Saturday and beating them. And I think he understands that. And did he throw shade? Yeah, he threw some shade. But guess what? He can do it. He can do it because he's a 2-time champion. He can do it because he beat Tennessee. And so if you're looking at situations as a Tennessee fan and you feel a certain type of way about it, go ahead and feel that way. But the fact of the matter is Tennessee has to beat them. That's how you shut coaches like that up. You have to go out there and beat them. But he's definitely throwing some subtle shade.
Yeah, if Nick Saban were making that very comment, it'd be easy to come back and say, well, we got you last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Georgia's in the position it's in as the champ, back-to-back champs. And he might be making that comment in general with how the game has changed. But if he is, it's still difficult to believe that Tennessee's not a big part of the thinking there when you're referencing other offenses that go really fast, considering Tennessee is the team that's supposed to be the top challenger in the East to Georgia. And as you mentioned, Georgia's playing Tennessee every year.
Kirby Smart knows way more football than I know. Okay, get that clear. And Kirby is speaking of what he wants, ideally, from his quarterbacks, from the place he's at now moving forward. But he wasn't always like that with his quarterbacks. He didn't give his quarterbacks all this freedom like he's talking about. 3 checks, 3. No. At the beginning of his tenure, man, it was about building a defense and a running game and not having those quarterbacks have to make those type of decisions. As you progressed and Stetson Bennett developed into the player that he was, won the first championship, his confidence went through the roof. We saw Stetson be a different quarterback this year versus last year. And, yeah, like you were able to do those things with him and give him that freedom. But let's not pretend like Kirby was this way from day one at Georgia. And then let's not pretend like the Tennessee quarterback in the last 2 years didn't have more on their plate than the Georgia quarterback that had a defense full of NFL prospects, a running game that had 3 or 4 different running backs in the stable that can go at the next level, an offensive line that physically and talent-wise the best in the country. Yeah, like you put a lot on your quarterback this past year, but, man, he sure had a lot of help around him. Nobody in the country at the quarterback position in the last 2 years have had to do more than Hendon Hooker with a not-so-great offense in his first year, and then this year getting a little bit better, but the secondary wasn't great. So it put pressure on him to have to score 40 and 50 points. So I get what he's trying to do. I understand it. I respect it. It is what it is. It's recruiting. It's competition in the SEC. You got to say what you got to say. But no one had more on their plate in the last 2 years than Hendon Hooker. And I'll make another point, Josh. Why do you think Hendon Hooker has flew up the draft boards as of late?
I think teams have been wowed by his mental makeup, his leadership quality, and also understanding what was on him at Tennessee and how much he was able to manage as the quarterback at Tennessee.
Because I think perception, NFL scouts and college football fans, it's the same as probably what Kirby has. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, they just go fast. And, we just take all the pressure off the quarterback.
Yep.
And that was the perception with Hendon. That's why he was a third-round pick probably. But it's amazing. A guy that did not do pro day, that did not do the combines, did not do Senior Bowl, we're talking first round now. Well, why is that? Because when he talked to those scouts and he sat down with them and went over film and he explained to them, here's responsibilities, they were like, oh, okay, now we know. Now we understand a whole lot more. Yes, Hendon, we see him in the first round now. Why do you think that? Well, that's why. That's why. Because the perception was the quarterbacks didn't really have to do much, and everything was pretty much done for them. The food was cut up for them. No. After Hendon talked to the scouts, they realized that Hendon had a lot more on his plate. Not only did he have a lot on his plate, but he was able to handle it and perform the way that he performed, putting up big numbers and leading his team to a ton of victories. That's why Hendon is climbing up the charts, because that rumor got debunked. So I don't blame Kirby for doing what he's doing, but we're going to address it. And I think Tennessee's quarterbacks over the last 2 years proved they have to actually do more and have more responsibility.